Have you ever looked at someone and felt like there's a whole story behind their eyes? Maybe you walked into a room and instantly felt something was off, but you couldn't explain why. Or maybe you've been fooled by someone's words, only to realize later their actions told a different story. The truth is, life becomes easier, safer, and more powerful when you learn the art of observing people. And in today's world, this is not just a skill, it's a superpower. So, if you want to protect yourself, understand others better, and level up in life, this lesson is for you. Let's explore how to truly observe anyone. 1. Why observation is a superpower. Most people see with their eyes, but they do not truly observe with their mind. There is a big difference between just looking at something and actually noticing it. Every day you walk past dozens, maybe even hundreds of people. On the street, in the office, at school, or on public transport. You see their faces, their clothes, their actions. But how many of them do you truly notice? How many of them do you really understand? Even a little bit? Probably not many. That is because observation is not about what the eyes can see. It is about what the mind can pick up. People are like books. Some are short stories, some are long novels, some are open and easy to read. Others are closed, complicated, or even written in a language we don't understand. But most people only look at the cover of these books. They make quick decisions. He's smart, she's rude, he's funny, she's not friendly. These opinions are based on a single glance, a few words, or one action. That is not observation. That is assumption. That is guesswork. True observation is something else entirely. When you observe, you slow down. You listen carefully. You don't jump to conclusions. You pay attention to the small things, like how someone's voice changes when they talk about something painful, or how their body becomes tense when they feel uncomfortable. You notice their facial expressions, the way their eyes move, how they sit, how they stand, what words they repeat, and what topics they avoid. Over time, you start to recognize patterns, and those patterns tell you the truth. This skill is powerful. In fact, observation is a kind of superpower. Why? Because it helps you in almost every area of life. In your relationships, it allows you to see what your partner, friend, or family member is really feeling, even when they don't say it out loud. In your career, it helps you understand your boss, your coworkers, and your clients better. You can sense who is honest, who is nervous, who is confident, and who might be hiding something. When you observe well, you can avoid conflict, choose better people to trust, and even become more persuasive. Observation also protects you. It helps you see warning signs early. For example, you might notice that someone always changes the topic when they're asked about the past. Or maybe they never look people in the eye when making promises. These small details can tell you a lot. They help you protect your heart, your time, and your energy. But there's more. Observation does not only help you understand others, it also helps you understand yourself. When you start paying attention to your own thoughts, your own reactions, your own body language, and your own habits, you begin to grow. You become more self-aware. And self-awareness is the first step toward real personal development. When you observe yourself honestly, you begin to change in powerful ways. The most important thing to remember is this. Observation is not the same as judging. Judging is fast and shallow. Observation is slow and deep. When you judge, you close your mind. When you observe, you open your mind. Judging creates distance. Observation creates understanding, and understanding creates connection, empathy, and wisdom. In a world that moves fast, where most people are too busy to really see anything, the person who observes stands out. That person becomes wiser, calmer, and stronger. That person avoids many problems and creates better relationships. That person becomes someone others can trust and follow. So train yourself to observe. Practice every day. Don't just look, notice. Don't just hear. Listen. Don't just speak, reflect. Because when you learn to observe, you unlock a power most people never even realize they have. 2. Start with curiosity, not judgment. The first and most important step in learning how to observe anyone is to develop the right mindset. That mindset is called curiosity. Most people go through life quickly judging others. They hear one thing, see one action, and immediately create a full story in their mind. He's lazy. She's selfish. That person is weird. But these stories are based on almost nothing. Just one sentence. Just one moment. Just one expression. And the problem is, once you judge someone too quickly, you stop seeing them clearly. You stop learning about who they really are. But curiosity is different. Curiosity means you are truly interested in understanding others. You are not trying to label them. You are trying to learn about them. You want to know why they do what they do, what shaped their behavior, and what their story might be. This mindset helps you slow down and pay attention. You stop jumping to conclusions. Instead, you start asking quiet questions inside your mind. For example, instead of saying, "He's rude," you ask yourself, "Why is he acting that way today? Is he tired? Is he under stress? Did something happen in his past that makes him behave like this?" When you see a person who seems cold or distant, you don't immediately decide, "She's unfriendly." Instead, you think, "Maybe she is shy. Maybe she is protecting herself. Maybe she doesn't feel safe right now." This shift, from judging to wondering, makes a big difference. Why is this important when it comes to observation? Because judging closes your eyes. Curiosity opens them. When you judge, you think you already know the answer, so you stop looking for more information. But when you stay curious, you keep observing. You keep learning. You notice more. People can feel this energy from you. When you're curious, they're more likely to open up, to show you their real self, and to reveal their thoughts. You become someone they feel safe with. And this is where powerful observation begins. Also, curiosity makes you emotionally stronger. When you're curious instead of judgmental, you react less. You don't take things so personally. If someone is cold to you, instead of getting angry or sad, you become interested. What made them act this way? That space between reaction and reflection gives you control. You stay calm. You become wiser with every experience. Many problems in life happen because people judge too fast. Relationships break down. Friendships are lost. Trust is destroyed. But when you start with curiosity, you build bridges. You understand people better, and they understand you better too. Even if you don't agree with someone, you can still learn from them. You can still find something valuable in their story. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore bad behavior. It doesn't mean you accept disrespect. It means you observe first before making decisions. You stay open long enough to collect the truth, not just your assumptions. And in that space of curiosity, you find wisdom, patience, and power. So from now on, train your mind to ask better questions. Don't label people quickly. Don't jump to conclusions based on one moment. Stay curious. Be interested in people. Try to understand, not judge. Because every person is carrying a story you haven't heard yet. And the more curious you are, the more clearly you will see those stories. That's the secret. Judging closes your mind. Curiosity opens your heart. And when your heart is open, your observation becomes deep and powerful. People may not say much with words, but when you observe them with curiosity, they show you everything. 3. Watch their body, not just their words. When you're trying to understand someone, most people listen only to the words being spoken. But the truth is, words can lie. People often say things they don't mean. They hide their real thoughts and feelings behind polite sentences. They say, "I'm okay," when they are not. They smile when they are hurting. They agree when they are actually uncomfortable. This is why words can sometimes be misleading. But there is something that almost never lies: the body. The body speaks in silence. It expresses what the person is feeling deep inside, even when they don't want to say it out loud. That's why learning to observe body language is such an important part of truly understanding people. If someone says, "I'm fine," but their shoulders are tight, their voice is soft or flat, and they avoid eye contact, you can sense something isn't right. Their words say one thing, but their body says something else. Every part of the body gives signals. Crossed arms may suggest the person is protecting themselves or feeling defensive. It could also mean they are uncomfortable or trying to create distance. Leaning forward, on the other hand, often shows interest. It tells you the person is engaged, curious, or connected to the conversation. Looking away, especially when answering a question, may show nervousness, guilt, or hesitation. A person who repeats small movements like tapping their fingers, shaking their foot, or biting their nails may be feeling anxious or uncertain. Sometimes people mirror your actions without even realizing it. For example, if you take a sip of water and they do the same, or if you cross your legs and they copy your posture. This can be a very good sign. It usually shows trust and connection. Their body is saying, "I feel safe with you," even if their words haven't said it yet. But here is a very important point. Never judge someone based on just one movement. A single action, like crossing arms or looking away, doesn't always mean something is wrong. Maybe the person is just cold. Maybe they're thinking. Maybe they're shy. That's why a smart observer always looks for patterns. A pattern means the person does the same thing again and again in different situations. That's when you can trust the signal. Let's say someone often avoids eye contact, gives short answers, and stands with closed posture every time you talk about a specific topic. That's a pattern. It tells you the topic makes them uncomfortable, or they may be hiding something. On the other hand, if they lean in, smile, and speak with excitement when another subject comes up, you've also learned something valuable. What matters to them and what makes them feel alive. The best part is, you don't need to be an expert in psychology or human behavior to do this. You just need to pay attention. Be still. Watch quietly. Let your mind and eyes work together. The more you observe, the more natural it becomes. You'll start noticing things you never saw before. Shifts in posture, changes in tone, movements that match or don't match their words. The body speaks all day long. In fact, some studies suggest that over 70% of communication is nonverbal. That means most of what people are telling you is not in the words. They're in the movements, the pauses, the expressions. Once you understand this, you begin to listen in a new way. So train yourself to see beyond the words. Watch how people sit, how they walk, how they react when something is said. Notice their face, their hands, their shoulders. When words and body language do not match, always believe the body. Because the truth is, the body doesn't know how to lie. It always tells the real story. 4. Listen more than you talk. There's a powerful secret that most people never learn. The more you listen, the more people reveal. Listening is not just a polite thing to do. It is a powerful skill that can help you understand people deeply. Many people think they are listening, but they are only waiting for their turn to speak. Their mind is not focused on the other person's words. It's focused on what they want to say next. They miss important details, signals, and emotions, all because they are too focused on themselves. If you want to be a great observer, you must learn to listen with your whole attention. This means not just hearing the words, but paying attention to how the words are spoken. Every voice carries emotion. Every sentence has a rhythm. The tone, the speed, the volume. These all give you clues about what someone is really feeling. For example, if someone's voice is tense or shaky, they might be nervous or hiding something. If their voice is soft and slow, they might be sad or tired. If their voice gets louder or rises suddenly, it might mean they are lying, excited, or feeling pressured. Now think about the speed of speech. Some people talk very fast when they're nervous. Their words tumble out one after another, like they're trying to escape a feeling. Others speak slowly when they are unsure. Long pauses, repeated words, or changes in pace can show hesitation, confusion, or even guilt. As a good listener, you must pay attention to this. Don't just hear the message. Observe how it is delivered. One of the most powerful things to listen to is silence. Yes, silence speaks. Sometimes what a person doesn't say is more important than what they do say. Maybe they avoid a topic. Maybe they change the subject when a certain name is mentioned. Maybe they go quiet when asked a direct question. That silence can carry a heavy truth. It can show pain, fear, or secrets that they are not ready to talk about. Also, notice how a person's story changes over time. People who are not telling the truth often give too many details to sound believable. They might say things that don't match later, or they avoid certain topics again and again. As a careful listener, you will notice these small changes. You don't need to confront them. Just observe. Let the patterns speak for themselves. Another secret: silence makes people speak. If you stay quiet after someone talks, they often feel the need to fill the silence. In that moment, they may share something more honest. It's natural. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence, so they keep talking. And in that extra talking, they may say things they didn't plan to. So don't be afraid of quiet moments. Let silence do its work. Be still. Be patient. Be open. People will reveal more than you expect. Listening is not only about understanding others, it's also a way to build trust. When people feel truly heard, they feel safe. They feel respected. They are more likely to be real with you. This makes observation easier because people drop their masks when they feel someone is actually listening. Not judging, not interrupting, not trying to win the conversation. Just listening. So, if you want to truly observe anyone, here is one simple rule. Talk less, listen more. Don't rush to give advice. Don't always share your opinion. Let the other person speak. Let their words, their tone, and their silence guide you. Because when you become a great listener, you begin to see what others miss. And that is the true power of quiet observation. 5.